What does it mean to be motivated artistically? It's very much like riding in a car. When the car is running, it's something that you don't need to work at. You don't need to try to make it move. It's moving. So to be motivated artistically is where you're in a state where you're getting a lot of artwork done, and it isn't arduous. You don't need to continually make yourself do it. You're in the motion. You've got the ball rolling. You have the movement working for you. It takes care of itself, and it's very much like riding in a car. You know, you have invested energy that is working for you, and you can relax and enjoy making art. So probably when a lot of people think of a motivated individual, they think of someone who works very hard, and that things are just as hard for them to do as they are for us to do. And that is simply not true. The motivated individual is someone who probably puts forth as much effort as the laziest person does. What you want to do is get to that point where you are highly motivated and it's easy for you to get a lot of artwork done and enjoy it. That is the ultimate goal, is to enjoy being creative and making your art. How do we get this machinery of motivation put together and going? I like to think of the brain as not stopping with the gray matter, but your total brain is really your entire body. And I'll give you an example of how this works. When you're walking, that is a mental activity. When you're walking, it requires a great deal of information, a great deal of mostly subconscious concentration. We don't think of it as an arduous task because our bodies have been conditioned to it. And when I say that, I don't mean that we've gotten physically stronger. I mean that our bodies have been accustomed to the activity of walking. And we are very motivated to walk. We do not think of it as an arduous activity. So when you think about getting motivated for artwork, it isn't just a mental willpower, okay, I'm going to get a lot of artwork done. You want to use your total brain, that is, you want to condition your body to be motivated to do artwork. You know, sometimes it's really good to set aside all your other artistic goals and just physically do it. If you want to be a writer, it is not a waste of time to make yourself sit in front of the keyboard and practice typing the alphabet. That is not wasted time. And credit should be paid to the practice of physically doing artwork, not mentally, not trying to create something, not trying to complete a project, not trying to reach a goal or, you know, reach that zone or to the point where you're inspired and enjoying it, but going through the motions. Because what you're doing is you're conditioning your body to the activity of making art, and in that way getting motivated to do art loses the inertia, the difficulty of getting started. So for me, I can barely remember when I was first learning to write, you know, A, B, you know, write out the letters. It was really hard, and you know, it was so hard that the idea of a page of writing my ABCs seemed like a really hard task. And now I don't even think about it because my body has been conditioned to that activity. I don't think of it consciously. It's still a mental activity. I'm still exerting effort, but on a very subconscious, on a very spinal level. And So to condition yourself to the activity, to the physical activity, very much like the physical activity of going running, changing a tire, or fixing a sandwich. These are practices that we have been conditioned to. Our bodies learn the same way our brains do. Our bodies are thinking, and if they have been conditioned to think their way through the motions of doing something, it becomes 99% easier than when you first do it. I meet people, and in their minds, they can appreciate the abstract. They are creative. They have good insight and creative ideas, but there is a brain-body disconnect. They want to make art, but find it incredibly difficult to get motivated. And in those cases, what I say is, you want to just go through the motion. You want to make yourself physically sit down, and if you're not really making art, physically imitate the act of making art. Go to the canvas and paint circles. You know, do something where you're conditioning your body to be an artist, to act as an artist. And when it gets to a point where you do that as often as you go walking, and it's part of your daily activity, your brain is going to have so much of an easier time getting motivated, and you'll just do it. Each day it'll be like taking a car ride. You'll have your creative ideas, and you'll have the motivational machinery set in place to move you to follow through with those creative ideas. Years ago, I wanted to create the motivation to type. And yes, it was very arduous, because it's so much more difficult as you get older to condition your body, you know. But I can say that today I type with ease. I don't have to make myself do it, and most of the time I'm not even really thinking about the typing. My attention is up here with, you know, my experience is that I'm just thinking through these ideas, and what is happening is that they're being typed out and they're being written. And be patient. It takes years to condition your body to be motivated to make art. And think of it as an exercise, and set aside your other artistic goals and just make yourself do it. Don't sit there thinking about it, but just take yourself to that place and go through the motions. Not to finish a project, but to your goal is to practice that activity, even if it should be pseudo being an artist. If you're not really making art, but just going through the motions and not really finishing projects. There's this idea about being artistic is that you need to be, is all about being inspired and is all about being in the zone. But the problem is that there are people that when they are inspired and when they are mentally in the zone, they have not built up this, their bodies are not conditioned to get into place and get the engines running and backing you up for when you are in the zone. So there's a part of being an artist where it's like training. You're in training so that when you do want to be in the zone, you have instead of just using that tip of the conscious mind to do the art, you've got the whole mountain backing you, putting all this extra energy into what you want to do. I hope my tutorials are helpful. Please take the time to go to solomation, MATION.com to look at the animated episodes project I'm working on. And when you hit the like button for a video, you're voting. You're telling me that you want me to produce more along that subject matter. So if you want to see me creating more tutorials like this, let me know, and please back my cause, subscribe, all that good stuff. Again, hope your art goes well, and I hope you have a good day.